Let's focus on the other big story that we have for you right now. Both Bhuvaneshwar, Kumar and Ashwin are fit and available for selection ahead of India's big game against South Africa on Sunday. In a statement released by the team, it was clarified that both Bhuvaneshwar and Ashwin are available for selection. Bhuvaneshwar's fitness has been under the cloud as the seamer did not look fit enough in training. The pacer has been nursing an ankle injury since December. He missed India's World Cup opener against Pakistan but could mark a return against the Proteas. Meanwhile, Ashwin is also fit to play. He had suffered a blow in training on Wednesday after he was hit by a ball from Umesh Yadav. Though the injury was not serious, there was a doubt if India would risk him for the match on Sunday. So it looks like things are finally falling in place just in time for Team India. All right, so now let's go once again across to Boria, who's in Melbourne. Boria, what's the latest that you have on Bhuvaneshwar and Ashwin? You've, of course, been observing them over the period of past few days in the nets. Did they train with the rest of the team today?
Today there is no training, Himanshu. The Indian team is taking a break. Yesterday they practiced between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. local time here in Melbourne. 4 hours of rigorous practice at the Junction Oval at St Kilda. Ashwin was very much there. In fact, he looked relaxed. I mean, he did not look unfit or any such thing. A couple of people wished him, fans that is, wished him for his performance against Pakistan. He greeted them and went inside the venue to train. The Indians had a rigorous practice session. Today, South Africa is training as I speak at the MCG, but the Indians are taking a day off. They will be training tomorrow. The news is very clear. No injury concerns whatsoever in the squad of 15. Everybody available for selection. But from what I gather, there will be no change to the winning combination. The only possibility could have been Stuart Binney for one spinner. But on Sunday, the temperature is supposed to be 37, 38. So it will be baking hot here in Melbourne. And from what I understand from within the team management sources, within the team management say, no change in the team composition.
Boria, there have also been some reports on some local websites on Dale Steyn missing practice due to flu. Any such news that you're hearing as well?
Yeah, I've spoken to the South African media contingent, to the media manager Lerato Malekutu, and she's confirmed that Dale Steyn is training today. He suffered sinusitis, not exactly flu. He's training today. He's 100% available for training. In fact, about 20 minutes back, just behind me is the Langham Hotel, and the South Africans went to the MCG to train, and one of the first people on that team bus was Dale Steyn. We were waiting at the lobby, and Dale was one of the first people to come down and enter that team bus. He did not look unfit at all. Yesterday, he was having friendly banter with Alan Donald. Make no mistake, he will definitely take the field against India.
Right. Andrew, it's quite a big development, Bhuvaneshwar, Kumar and Ashwin being fit and available for the big match against South Africa. Given the local conditions, do you think that would really help boost India's chances against South Africa, considering the pitch, the conditions, the ground?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, having a swing bowler, especially early on in Australia, the ball does swing around, very useful. And Ashwin, he's a key man to India, in my opinion. He can attack through the middle overs, and he can keep things very tight. You know, he's not a part-time spinner. He's a proper front-line spinner, and he stops the leak of runs. He puts pressure on batsmen having to score off good balls consistently. So, key man, and it's always important to have your 15-man squad, you know, fully fit so you can select from the whole group.
Nikhil, a very important development that we've also heard about in the past few days is the appointment of Gary Kirsten and Michael Hussey as far as the South African team is concerned as consultants. Now, what sort of a role do you think the two would be playing as far as the South African team is concerned? Of course, Hussey knows the conditions as well as anyone else. He knows them better than anyone else. And of course, Gary Kirsten is also there in the South African team as a consultant. What sort of a role do you expect from them?
Well, I guess with Gary, what I hear with a lot of our Indian players when he was coach for Team India, you know, he looks to prepare the youngsters or imbibe the confidence that you can go out there and win games, or, you know, how to convert the starts into big enough scores. He breaks down the entire batting lineup with great amount of ease. You know, if you're playing 6 batsmen, 2, 3 of you guys get starts, it's your responsibility to go out there and finish games. And I guess, you know, we spoke about this yesterday as well. With Gary around, you know, I guess the South Africans need that cushion of comfort, just somebody that they can, you know, go and speak to get them across the line. Because, you know, you talk about that talent in the side. When it comes to quicker bowlers, when it comes to the batsmen, they're probably one of the best sides on paper. But at the end of the day, you know, whenever it's the Champions Trophy, or the ICC World Cups. Come the business end of the tournament, Himanshu, it's the battle between the ears. And they're, a little desperate to try and get some help.
Right. Hold on to those thoughts, Nikhil. I'll come back to you in a bit. Ahead of the big India-South Africa clash at the World Cup on Sunday, Borio Majumdar caught up with former South African skipper Johan Botha. Here's more.
Key clash for India coming up at the MCG, and I'm here with Johan Botha, former South African captain, to talk about it. Knows the team well, played with them. Johan, India-South Africa, always a big game, but at this point in time for the World Cup, South Africa looks brilliant.
Yeah, they've obviously had a good build-up over the last, year and a half. They've played really good cricket. I think their batting definitely has clicked. AB and Ashwin on career best form, so that's good from a South African point of view. And then just on the clash, it's always a big clash. I can remember from the 2011 World Cup in Nagpur, where we chased 296 and we got on the last over. So that was obviously a highlight for us as a team. But new tournament and new venue, and it's going to be just as big a game.
You've rubbed it in nicely, subtly. Talk about AB de Villiers. India's bowling is a concern, and the man is in magical form, 30 ball 100. How does one deal with AB de Villiers in this form?
I think just from that 30 ball 100, he obviously had a great platform to come in on, and if they continue to give that to him, with Hashim at the top and maybe Quinton de Kock, Faf du Plessis, JP Duminy, those guys around, and set it up for AB, then he's as good as anyone and the best in the world at it to, manipulate the field, use that extra fielder that you have to keep in these days to hit over his head or hit through the field. So it makes it tough for the bowling side, and India definitely, their bowling, going into the tournament, it might be their concern. I think, they've got obviously a lot of good young batters and experienced batters with that. So that's their strength, and it's going to be how India bowls in this tournament for me, to determine how deep they go into the tournament.
Is it also about Virat Kohli versus AB de Villiers in a way?
The Bangalore connection, I think. Virat's obviously a great player. He's done well so far on the tour. He had an excellent test series. It's been a little bit low in the one-day series, but I expect him as a quality player and a big match player to step up.
Few final questions, Johan. South Africa, always been a very good side, but never been over the line. 99 was a great side. Do you actually see this South African team having that chance of actually going over the line and redeeming that C tag, the Chokers tag?
I think they've definitely got a chance with, there's a few teams who've got a chance. India, obviously the most recent winners, so there's a little bit of pressure off them, but, knowing India, knowing their support base, they want to back it up and do it back-to-back. So there's a bit of pressure on them. Australia and New Zealand, obviously, as hosts, have got a bit of extra pressure. And then South Africa for a team who's never won it. So there's some teams with just a little bit of extra. There's a couple of other teams that doesn't really have too much pressure, and if they get to the semi-finals and the final, it would be a great result for them. So I think South Africa, the team they've got, they can definitely win it, but it's like you say, it's how they play in the knockout stages, and that's going to be crucial.
Well, England will be looking to earn their first win of the World Cup campaign as they take on co-host New Zealand at Wellington in a Pool A encounter on Friday. After winning their first two games, the Kiwis clearly start as favourites. The Black Caps have already beaten Sri Lanka and Scotland in their first two matches, but losing 7 wickets while chasing a modest total against Scotland exposed the fragilities of Brandon McCullum's men. England, on the other hand, suffered an embarrassing defeat at the hands of Australia in their opening World Cup encounter. Stephen Finn will hold the key to England's chances, having taken the first hat-trick of the tournament and bowling superbly in the opener. England, though, will have to work on their batting, with only James Taylor managing to hold fort in front of the Aussie bowlers. The match will start at 6:30 a.m. in Wellington on Friday. All right, so Andrew, first up, England needs to put a win on board. They are desperate for a win right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Some early pressure in the tournament for England. Be interesting to see how they absorb that pressure. New Zealand, obviously, it's their home crowd, home ground advantage. The toss may be an important part to this game. Watching their game the other day, the ball did swing around a bit early, so if McCullum chooses to bowl first again, there's an opportunity for their quicks to swing the ball at England and take early wickets. But a small ground, so if England bat well early on, they'll be able to launch, build a pad to launch from, in the latter overs and build a big total for New Zealand to have to chase.
Right. Nikhil, Analyze for us the main strengths and weaknesses of the two teams ahead of this big game tomorrow.
Well, I guess, Wellington conditions, windy, like Andrew said, he'll do a little bit early on. James Anderson can get that ball to swing around. Finn, he's had a good first game as well. Stuart Broad is another guy. They'll need to go out there and bowl. But the important thing where I feel England lack a bit is they don't have any other batsmen who can, once get that start and convert and be explosive during that middle overs, or look to get 90 odd in the last 10 unless Owen Morgan is batting right through the 50 overs when he comes out to bat. On the other hand, you look at New Zealand, McCullum, Anderson, they're big boys in there to finish games, strike rates of excess of 130 achieved with great amount of ease. Their bowling looks good. I'd say, going even on current form, the number of match winners for the New Zealand side, I'd probably say that maybe New Zealand's got their noses slightly ahead of the English side.
All right. Thanks a lot, Nikhil. Thanks a lot, Andrew, for joining us on this show. Well, that's all we have on this show. News and updates continue on Headlines Today.